Now you're living with the inner child. Do you like the inner child? That's what we go like, whoa. And your inner child comes out. So does your inner child know how to play with their inner child?
What should be 3 questions that, say someone's starting to date someone, they're 6 months, 3 months in, 6 months in, and things are moving along.
I have the questions.
And you want to ask 3 questions to determine if this relationship has the chance of being, powerful, growth-minded, acceptance, not controlling. What would those 3 questions be?
Well, you first want to know how much inner work the person has done. You want to talk to their therapist. You want to see the appointments. You want to know how long they've been doing this. No, I'm just kidding. You'll get a sense of their consciousness quotient. Okay, that is number 1.
Yes.
You have to see how integrated is this person from their childhood to their adulthood. Have they worked on their wounds?
Here's the challenge. Everyone shows the best version of themselves in the first year.
It's such a farce.
And they act like they've done this in general, right? So how do you truly know when everyone's on their best behavior?
So you don't move in? Don't move in.
You want to hang out with that guy or that girl? Go ahead, did it with the, it's like.
You don't get so excited in that first year. You know that each one is trying to present the false self. So don't you know that? So don't give in for the first year. You know it takes time. So you can't be jumping to the altar right away, right?
Yeah.
So number 1 is, what is the consciousness quotient? And then I would, I'm a little unconventional, so I will not find anyone probably, but it's because they'll fail my questions. So I would ask them about their beliefs about, all the stereotypical institutions. And I have done so much work deconstructing cultural lies that I want to be with someone who has deconstructed the bullshit.
Same thing. Otherwise, you're fighting against values, beliefs, ideas.
Then it becomes a schism of basic values, And the more work we do, the more you deconstruct what the bullshit is. You can't be with someone who's bought into the bullshit.
You're distancing more and more your beliefs.
So I think consciousness quotient, which is healing from childhood, and then the cultural BS radar, how good is their BS radar? And then the last thing would be, just how present they are. Are they worthy of their own love? Are they whole? That's all connected to the first 2, but it then shows up in that person because they're present, they're radiant, they're joyous, they're liberated. You can see liberated people because they don't need anything from you.
Right.
Because they're whole.
They're not expecting anything. They don't need something to feel good.
They don't judge
They
you.
are good.
And they're bursting with that.
Yeah.
So you feel it. That's true chemistry, right? You want to be attracted to the essence of the person, not to their sports car or their
bank account or the way they look.
Right, because that's going to end. That's transient. Consciousness lasts. You're living with the person's consciousness. You're living with the person's inner demons. Because after the first 2 years, when the cars are old, you've been bored, and you've done that.
Now, you travel the world, you've done,
Now you're living with the inner child. Do you like the inner child? That's what we go like, whoa. And your inner child comes out. So does your inner child know how to play with their inner child? And that's when you say the bubble bursts. But it's no one's fault. It's because we both presented with the bubble.
So now we're at
Don't fall in love until 2 years are up. Then fall in love.
What if people are like, this is amazing, this is exciting.
It's not amazing,
we're connected.
It's the illusion. Wait, I used to have a client who used to get so upset with me. She was like, before you burst my bubble, she always knew I'm going to burst her bubble. Because this is what the ego does. It presents the best self. You think you're falling in love. Even the idea of falling in love, you don't want to fall. You should not be falling. You should be standing. You should be standing solid.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fact that we fall is because we are falling for the illusion. And then we're upset in 2 years that another relationship didn't work out.
Jeez.
Because it was the false self, the survivor, who was holding on. And after some time, the survivor stops, right? The ego breaks down, and now you see each other's raw self behind the prison wall, and you're both convicts looking for the other to rescue them. I call them twin beggars. Give me, give me, give me, give me.
You're not giving me enough.
It's never going to be enough.
Wow.
Because we were beggars all along. We needed to only dare to enter a relationship after we've been full. Very hard to do, I know. So we're going to beg away.
How does a 23-year-old
She doesn't.
get full after
she goes through the pain and the pain, like we all have gone through, heartache after heartache, blaming the other, crying to our girlfriends.
He didn't do this, she didn't do that.
And then everyone commiserates and go, yeah, he was really terrible.
Horrible.
He was horrible. Leave him. What a terrible
bad man.
Yeah.
A bad girl.
Right, we're bad, good, bad, We don't realize it's just inner child to inner child, trauma to trauma, beggar to beggar.
What happens when two people who have truly healed their traumas, done the years of work, they're not expecting, they're not holding grudges, they're not resentful, they're not needing something.
Yeah.
What happens when those two type of people get together?
I think there's such a thing as a beautiful intimacy. I talk about intimacy where you truly can see the other person, but as their own being. And you don't need anything from them. You don't need them to be a certain way. And they know, and you know, that it's a journey. So we walk together for some sunsets, and maybe others we don't. And each is okay with that. We'll be sad if the other one walks away, but not devastated or broken. See, we sometimes think to be broken is to have really loved if they left. Similarly, when our kids go off to school or college, if we don't cry, that means I didn't really love my kid. We have this weird romance around crying a lot or pain or brokenness. That means we really loved. No, love is freedom. So we need to be happy for the other person when they go to their other lover.
That's big. That's big, right?
But if you truly loved that other person, then how is it about you? It's what makes that person happy. Very hard, because culture has raised us with possession and monogamy as the main goal. So anyone who deviates from that is a freaking cheater.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm just listening to you and thinking about my life and my journey. And I've always, I'm no way am I a perfect human being, but I've always wanted the best when relationships didn't work out. And a lot of them didn't work out well. Like there was arguing and frustration on both sides, me included. But then I was like, okay, we're not working out. And I've always wanted them, I hope they find someone that's a better fit for them. I've never felt like the girls ever want me to be happy afterwards.
Like, he needs to go down.
He did this to me. He ruined my life. It's like, I've never felt like anyone ever wanted the best for me. But
you can't blame us, because we've been conditioned that when a relationship ends, it means the other's to blame and there's been a betrayal.
It's their fault.
Right, and betrayal. We fully bought into this idea of betrayal. And I don't believe in betrayal. I believe we only betray ourselves.
Ooh. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means that when we enter a relationship without understanding that we are going to be with the other person's inner child, we betray ourselves. We want daddy, or we want Prince Charming, or we want Mr. Perfect, or Miss Perfect. You can be in a same-sex relationship. And we put on the other the expectation that they will be there for us in the way we need.
They'll be our savior, our hero,
our fixer,
our knight, or whatever.
Of course, we all want that. That's lovely. But that was the job of mommy, not another human being.
Our parents are supposed to be there to help us grow.
They could barely do it. Right. So how is this person going to do it? But we put on them this unconscious expectation and burden. When they don't fulfill it, instead of wishing them well and going, I get it, I'm an inner child too. I must have been really hard for you to deal with. Or we're both misaligned. Our inner children were just fighting in the sandbox. I own my part. Thank you for showing me yours. It's not aligned. I get it.
Yeah, we had a season of life, and we learned something, hopefully, and we move on.
And say the guy cheated or the girl cheated. We look at the cheating not as a personal betrayal, but as it's a message. Yeah, okay. He wasn't supposed to be with me that night. He felt like he needed to be somewhere else. He's following his soul. Mm-hmm. But she's like, oh, but he lied to me. Of course he lied to you, because he knew you'd react like this. And now look, you're broken up, right?
Right.
No one ever says, where were you last night, honey? You can tell me and mean it, right? Every guy knows they never say where you were. They don't mean it.
Right.
The woman will kill you. We are raised in a conventional idea around man and woman. It's changing now, with all the gender fluidity and all the ownership of rights for all kinds of affiliations. We're changing the paradigm, but still at the core is this paradigm that there's an ownership between the two, and that is the dysfunction. It's toxic. We all want to own everybody. We all wish that the world was our puppet. Of course.
Why do we have that?
Because it's a childish desire to have control. You know, I want you to say exactly what I want because then I'll feel competent and in control.
Really?
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more inspiring clips like this, make sure to click right here to subscribe and click right here to watch that next video that is specific to support you in your life.